أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. During this past month, the holy month of Ramadan, we exerted ourselves in prayers, in fasting, in recitation of the Holy Quran, and in supplication to the Lord of the worlds. But as we enter into these days of Eid and beyond, what are some steps that we can take during the course of our lives to continue to feel that same sense of inspiration and motivation as we look beyond? Of course, during the holy month of Ramadan, we recognize the different climate that we live in. Everything just looks different, and it feels different, and it smells different, and it tastes different. We live in a climate whereby Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has invited us to be amongst His guests. And as we look beyond during these course of these days of Eid and during the course and the remainder of our lives, it's important for us to utilize that sense of inspiration and motivation that we felt during the month of Ramadan as a mechanism for our growth after the month of Ramadan. Now, I recognize that it sounds awfully cliche, but to really practice and implement the steps to being a better version of ourselves today during these first days of the month of Shawwal, in comparison with where we were on the last days of the month of Sha'ban, is a really large undertaking and a big step. We might feel a sense of spiritual elation during the course of these days. We feel content, we feel happy, we feel like we've put forth an effort and exerted ourselves during this blessed month. Now, as we go beyond, we recognize that there are going to be some days where we don't necessarily feel that same sense of inspiration or motivation. And that's when we have to go back toward these days of Ramadan as an opportunity for us to grow. Meaning, we go back to those recitations of the Quran that we performed in the evening as the sun was setting. Or we go back to the moments where tears were falling down from our cheeks while reciting Dua Joshan al-Kabir or Abu Hamza al-Thimali. We go back to those moments where we felt so close to God as an opportunity for us to get picked up, so to say, on those days when we don't feel that same motivation to perform prayers or supplicate in the darkness of the night. We're going to go through our ups and downs during the course of our lives. We're not always going to feel so connected to God. That's okay. Reminds me of a hadith from Imam Ali alayhi salam in which he says, Inna lil-qulubi iqbalan wa idbar. Sometimes these hearts are receptive and sometimes they're in a state of rejection. When the hearts are receptive, then add on to it, add more prayers, add more supplication, do whatever you can to accumulate a better cultivation or growth of these souls. But on those days when you don't feel so inspired and motivated, your heart is in a state of idbar, of rejection. That's okay. Just perform the obligatory acts, perform your prayers, stay away from that which is forbidden. But if we see that state of rejection, that lack of motivation to stand up and communicate and supplicate to God extends over days or over weeks or over months, then we need to perform a spiritual self-check. Go back to those days and nights where you felt so close to God, reciting those supplications. Remember the nights of the month of Ramadan and utilize it as an inspiration so you can continue on this journey to becoming the best of the servants of the Creator. That's what it's all about. This month of Ramadan is meant to shake up our hearts. And these days of Eid are meant to be an assessment for these hearts and of these souls, so that we take what we gain and look toward the future and continue to grow, continue to perfect ourselves, and be the best of the servants that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the potential to be. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq. Walhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.